So to practice this, any doubts there? Any doubts in the previous class? Inheritance, the 6-7F. So today we'll discuss about the abstract classes and the interface. Abstract class and interfaces. Let's go for 5, a new Apex class, ABSCL. So here the concept like abstract class. So what does mean by abstract class? Where will use an abstract class? Where will use abstract class? Where we are using abstract. So if a class contains at least one abstract method, then you can say it is an abstract class. So abstract class means method don't have implementation. Or called no body. So a method you are declared but don't have any definition. Such methods are called abstract methods. So if you write like public void m1 method and declare semicolon, then this method is what? Then abstract method. This method don't have any body. Method don't have any bodies are called abstract methods. So when you write like this, see, that's giving error. What error? Method must define a body. So in a class I declare a method, but I don't have any definition. Then we can say that these methods are abstract methods. And if you provide definition, so that's no concept of abstract. But what is the use of these abstract methods? Why we made the methods without declaration? Why without body we made it? So the advantage of abstract is what? What is an advantage of abstract classes? Abstract methods? Yeah, anyone? What is the use of abstract methods? Can we use a written other void for this? What is the use of abstract methods? You can written any type. You can written any type of method. But what is the use of abstract method? You should know the abstract definitions. Hiding and only showing the essential information. Hiding and only showing essential information. That's called abstraction. Yeah, that is abstraction. But here abstract method. We are not written anything. Then what is the use of hiding here? If your method has been defined and you are hiding, then it's called abstraction. But here is we are not written method definition. So we are not written any definition, and then what is the use of this? So in child classes we need to define whenever you use this classes, and if a class extends this class, if any child class extends abstract class, then compulsory child must extend, or child must define, or child must provide definition, must provide definition. That's the only advantage. So whenever you define abstract methods, whoever uses that class, the child class, you have to provide a definition. Otherwise, the child class also becomes abstract. And if child class becomes an abstract, you cannot create an object. We cannot create an object. So abstract classes cannot create objects. Since why? They are not complete classes. See, since this class contains abstract as well as non-abstract content. Abstract class contains both abstract and non-abstract methods. Contains abstract as well as non-abstract methods. Non-abstract methods like this: public void m2 method and provide definition. M2. So this is a definition method, and this is no definition. So what is the use of this abstract method? Is the abstract classes has to define, cannot create objects since they are not complete classes. Why they are not complete classes means some methods don't have any definitions. They are not complete. If any child class extends abstract class, then compulsory child must provide a definition. So child has to give a definition. You have to provide implementation compulsory. Otherwise, we cannot create an object. So if create an object for this class, let's see, Control E. ABSCL object equal to new ABSCL object dot m1. Now click execute. Method does not exist. See, there is no m1 method. If I call m2 at least, method does not exist or incorrect signature it's saying. It means I cannot create object for abstract classes since they are not complete. Now here when you declare a method here, a method must define a body it's saying. So method must define body means what? You have to provide definition. If you provide definition, it's not compulsory in the child class, he has to define some definition. It will not become mandatory that m1 must method has to be declared again, have to define in the child class. We don't require that again a new definition in the child class. For example, in any software or whenever you go for any big softwares implementations, we provide an abstract methods. Reason is, whoever uses that classes, you have to provide the definition. If I define a class like building class, a building class should contain methods like you need to provide definitions for a dining hall, kitchen, like that. Then that methods has to provide definition. Whoever uses that classes means you declare that methods as an abstract, and automatically whoever create an object for building class, then you have to provide definitions. Similarly here, you declare the methods, method and abstract. So abstract methods can only be declared in abstract classes. So when there is an abstract, at least one, declare that class also an abstract. It's an abstract class and not complete class. So abstract classes cannot be constructed. Gives an error. A base object new means it gives an error since it has an abstract method. Then how to create an object for this? To create an object for abstract classes, you need to create a child class child extends ABSCL and we need to provide definition here. Public void M1 and create an object. To create an object, child c equal to new child c dot m1. Now when I click execute, child method must use override keyword. Child must use override keyword. So what happened here, since this is an abstract method, so M1 method you are providing a definition, so you have to use. Right, click execute. Then I'll get an method class. I am in M1. I'm in M1 now. Now child. So once I create an object, before creating object, compulsory you have to provide the definition. You have to provide definition. So I don't require the definition for M2 method here. If M2 method is defined already in the parent, I don't require to provide the definition. So you have to provide compulsory in the child classes. For that reason, we go for abstract classes. Abstract class contains abstract method. It's an abstract method. This contains non-abstract method. here create, cannot create object, then we need to go what, create in a child class extended, then you have to make it. Save this, copy this, next. Create an object. Create. That's an abstract. Similarly, we have that interface is that. There's an again file, a new Apex class, interface. So we cannot write interface, we need to write a class, create new Apex class, one. So this is a public class, and that's an interface. So interface contains only abstract methods. Interface contains only abstract methods. If we declare the method human IM1, it's an abstract. I can write public void IM2, and if you provide definition, so without statements this is also a definition. When you write flavor bracket, then it's nothing but a definition. Save it. Top level must be public or global visibility, so that's a go. Save it. Expecting right found, so it's giving an error here. What? When in interface compulsory it contains only abstract methods. I should not provide the definition. So we should not provide the definitions, means it contains only abstract methods only. Save it. Public interface, public void M1, expecting right curly bracket, an abstract class, public abstract, public abstract one. Save. Contains only abstract methods, void M1, interface, one method. Okay, public interface inter1. So when you write public here, see, expecting right curly bracket found public, it's saying. Default, the methods in interface are public. The default, the methods in interface are public. It's giving another like different way. Expecting right curly bracket. So I'm setting in brackets. Okay. Save it. Yes. So that's an IM1 method. Error was void IM1. Save it. Method must define a body. Then what I need to write? Interface. Save. Okay. Now, how to create an object here? Debug window and export. When you create inter1 object equal to new inter1 object dot im1 method export cannot be constructed. Interfaces cannot create an objects. So interface contains only abstract methods. Abstract contains both non-abstract methods, but interface contains only abstract methods. But abstract class contains both abstract and non-abstract. Okay, and we cannot instantiate it. We cannot create an object for abstracts. Why? Interface also cannot create an objects. Cannot create objects. Cannot create objects since interface contains abstract methods. Contains and abstract methods. And what is the procedure? We need to extend the functionality, then create an object. Extend, interface, then create an object. Extend interface, create an object. How? You need to create a class test. Use the keyword implements. When you go for abstract or any class, we use extends, but for implements use keyword word implements. Use implements to for interface and extend for classes. You have to use implements for interface and extends for class and abstract class. Here then you have to use a class, public class, test implements enter1, then create an object for this. Test object equal to new test object dot im1, run. The test class must implement the public interface method in im1 from enter1. So when you extend the functionality, so compulsory you have to provide the definition in the child class. A test class has to implement the abstract methods, otherwise again the child class also becomes an abstract. Is it? So it is mandatory to define abstract methods in child class. Define abstract methods in the child methods. So whatever abstract methods are there, you have to define, otherwise class cannot be instantiated. Debug. im1 of test. Then click and execute. Now test one. Is it? Then enter one interface, and here in the Apex code what I have written, I created a test implements enter1 im1. So I can create any number of interfaces. So we'll create one more interface while new Apex class enter2 public interface and declare some method what im2 interface 2 something, save it. So enter1, it's an enter1. The enter1 contains IM1 method. Enter2 also contains IM2 abstract methods. Default they are abstracts. Interface contains abstract, so no need to declare again abstract. By default, interface methods are public and abstract. So no need to declare again public abstract. They are default abstract. So you have to create an object and then you have to extend the functionality. Then how you can write the class? If for example there is a test implements enter1, enter2, two classes, two interfaces. Then once create an object. So you have to provide definition like that, saying public IM1, copy this, paste it, IM2, then I can create an object. Then click and export. IM1 of test, IM2 of test. Enter1 contains one abstract method, enter2 IM2. Two methods are there. So two methods I am doing implementation here. Similarly, there is an abstract class. A class can extend an abstract class or any class. I can extend abstract or single. So here we will write extends ABSCL. A class can extend to only one class. I cannot extend more than one class. Otherwise what happens, what is error? A class extends more than one class, what happens? It comes to multiple inheritance. So for that a definition here I can write. Now enter1 abstract class. Abstract class contains a M1 method and M2 method, implemented method. Now when you write an object for a test class and click on execute, a test class must implement abstract method or M1 from ABSL. So the ABSL is in a class, an abstract class which contains the abstract method. So we have to provide definition for this. Otherwise use an error. Void M1 then I can create an object. Object dot M1. So now it calls M1 of test. So with this M1, which was an abstract method here, that you are extending in the child class. So here you have to provide override. See, for that's IM1, IM2 not required from that and from interface methods. I'm in M1 of test, IM1 interface methods, IM2 interface methods. So that means how we can define a class can extend to only one class. Class can extends to only one class. Extends to only class, but can implement any number of interfaces. Can implement any number of interfaces. So it can extend to one class. That's how we can define. The definition will be like this. Class extends class name, implements interface 1, interface 2, like this. So why it can influence any number of interface means interface contains only abstract methods, so there will be no conflicts. But in extends class name means a class name contains what? It can have the class name, but it contains only the definitions. A class contains only definitions, so we need to provide definition only once here, but interface contains all abstract methods. So we don't have any conflicts since interface has no definition. If class 1 contains the M1 method, it's an implemented method. I can write in interface 2 M2 method, and this also M2 method. So now in my class I can use more than one interface also. So I can use same method name also. So inter1 it's IM1 is their method. So in inter2 write void IM1, save it. No error. Inter1 contains IM1, inter2 contains IM2, no problem. Now come to our object. Implements IM1, IM1, IM2. Now click on execute. There is a definition, is only one definition. That definition where you have defined in the child class. If there is more than one definition, then we'll have the conflicts. Then an error will come. Okay. It's control A. So here IM1, IM. That's we use interface. How we can define? So write the definition here. So interface contains only abstract methods. Contain both abstract and non-abstract. Cannot create objects since it's not complete classes. It contains an abstract method. So interfaces and abstract classes cannot create an object. The major difference between both is interface only abstract methods. Here use implements for interface and extends for class and abstract classes. And it is mandatory to define abstract methods in the child class. Compulsory, all you have to define in the child, otherwise you cannot create an objects. And a class can extend to only one class. It extends, it implements any number of interfaces. Why means interface contains only abstract methods, then we don't have any problems. No, by default they are public. If you won't write also public, so it gives an error like saying error. Top level must have public or global. Then now we'll come to static. What do I mean by static? What is the use of static? File new next class test stat. What is the use of test? What is the static? When you use the static. So for example, there is a method like void m1 m1 of test stat. Save it. Only create an object test stat object equal to new test stat object dot m1. I'm calling this method. So you created an object for a test stat class. Method m1 is there. So there is a test stat, and then we create an object. Without creating an object, I cannot access this. So then, without creating an object, how I can call the method? So then the option is create that method as static. When you declare that method as a static, that static methods can be called without creating an object. I don't require to create an object for the static methods. I can call using its class names. Stat and im1 dot m1, then execute. Method does not correct incorrect signature. Here public static void like sequence. And now click execute. So we are creating a method, calling that method how? teststat.m1. I'm calling that method directly using the class name. Static methods can be called using class name without creating an object. I'm not creating an object. Without creating an object, I'll class name and call this. The function of static is using class name I can call that methods. Now we have the static variables also there. Is it? So if you write integer a equal to 10. Okay. Write a method public void m2 and display the values. System.debug a equal to a. I'll save this. Now if I call the method test stat dot m2, I cannot call this method since incorrect signature. If I want to call using class name means the method should be static. Then if see here m2 here, I need to create an object. I am creating an object, test object, then I need to call this. Next. Create an object. Once I create an object, that object can be called just m2 method. The m1 method is what static, so you can call directly using class name. But m2 method is not a static method, so I can call using object. Get debug only. So I'm getting a value 10. A value 10. So for example, if I give a equal to a plus 10, give and a equal to a plus 10. Save this. Now a value prints 10. Now once increments, if I increment, a value becomes 20. Is it? So we created an object. So object.m2 method. So a value is 10, a equal to a20. Now create one more object. Test stat object2 equal to new test stat object dot, again one more object, object2 dot m2 method. Again create one more object. So what will get an output for this? a.m2. So I created three objects. So object1, I'm calling m2 method. Again object2, object3, I'm calling m2. So I created three objects and I'm calling m2 methods. So what will get an output now? First time object1 m2, so a equal to 10 it prints and a equal to a plus 10, so a becomes 20. Now a is 20. For this object, the object1, for object1 I am calling the m2 method, so it displays a value 10 and increments a value 20. Next time again second object I created, object2 I created, again I call m2 method. Now memory is created separately for each object here. Is it? click and execute. So what will get an output for this? Always 10, 10, 10 only will get it. So even though I incremented the values. A equal to A plus 10, but I'm getting A equal to 10 only. Is it? I called the M2 method, A equal to 10 and A equal to A plus 10. Again it calling M2 method. This time again, this takes a separate memory for data member. This takes separate memory. Object 1 takes separate memory. Object 2 takes separate memory. Is it? Object 1 takes separate memory. Object 2 takes separate memory. Here in this object it takes A value 10 and this also takes value 10 and this also takes separate 10. Why means now here how many data members are created means for object 1 a separate A value, for object 2 separate A value and 3 also A. Each object creates a separate memory for each data member. Is it? For that only, even though I increment the value 10, it becomes A value 10 only. Always it displaying A equal to 10 and increments to 20. Again object 2, its data member 10, again A equal to A plus 10. So 3 objects has 3 data members individually. 3 objects has 3 data members separately and we are getting A equal to 10. Now the concept is when I declare the static variable integer static, right? Static, then what will get the output? Okay, save it. So if I declare a variable as a static, the advantage is now and execute. Debug. Now 10, 20, 30 I'm getting. Earlier it was 10, 10, 10 only, no? And when I have not used static, it's displaying only 10. Since every object has its own data member. Every object has its own data member. Object 1 has A variable, object 2 has A and object. But when you declare static, all objects uses same data member. All object shares the same data member. Now and close it. This static. Static methods can be called using class name without creating an object. Static variables shades by all objects. So we created 3 objects. 3 objects uses same variable A. They uses same variable A. So what happens? Now object 1 I created and contains A value 10. It prints A 10 and increments A plus 10 plus 10 20 plus. Now this A variable is shared by again object 2. Object 2 also uses same. Now it displays A equal to 20 and 20 plus 10 30, A equal to 30. Again object 3. Object 3 also uses same data member. So now object 3 dot m2 method means now A equal to 30, 30 plus 10 40 like this. As they use the same data member by all the objects of test stat. All objects are same class test stat, so uses the same. So for that only it shares by all objects. So for that we change the output like 10, 20, 30. Getting the point? Save it. For that only most of the some classes and some methods, we can declare the class also static. What happens? Public static class. Save it. Understood. Classes. Okay. So static variables are shared by all the variables. Static methods can be called using its class name. So here a teststat.m1 method. See, I'm calling that using the class name. Yeah. So make that functionality here and execute that. Can we override the static methods? Yes. So once you write Control S, file open, class teststat, this teststat, Control E. I can create an child class and I can create that class public child instance test start. Can you override the methods? So when you write the methods, for which methods? I think override public m1 and system dot debug. I'm in m1 of child. Now create the object child equal to new child object dot m1. Then click on execute and expect a token class public class and then click the execute. Invalid constructor name m1 public void. The method should have written. If there is no return type, it thinks as a constructor. There is no return type for a method, it thinks as a constructor. Invalid type teststat. Class constructor test stat. Non-virtual cannot be extended. So use what? The keyword public virtual. Save it. So that's in a class. So when you use extension, you have to use virtual. Instance method clashes with static methods from its test. The instance method clashes static method. This is an M1 method, this is an M1 method. So what happened in the child class? While using the functionality, if there is no static, if there is no static, what happens here? What error will get? Use override keyword, like that it says. Then declare virtual, then use it. So we cannot use that. So if you use virtual again, then use override, then you are not getting the static. So go for virtual, static, save it. Oh, static methods cannot be virtual. Set. Then we cannot override this methods. So in the child class, we cannot override the static methods. So if I write virtual, then only I can override. Now we are getting at what? The M1 method is already static in the parent. Get it? So use this, save this, and close. So static methods can be called using class name. The static variables are shared by a number of classes. And then interfaces. While going interface, it contains only the abstract methods. It contains only abstract methods. So while using abstract method also, use this also. A class can extend only to one class. It can implement any number of interfaces. So through interfaces only, we have the multiple inheritance is not resolved. So multiple inheritance, a class can extend to multiple classes called multiple inheritance. It's an abstract class which contains an abstract methods. Okay, and tomorrow we'll see a new concept again, exception handling, and we have the exception handling and collections. It's very important concepts. Exception handling. Then we can go for the Visual Force and Apex classes, the Apex programming. Then any doubts here? So cannot have an abstract statics. Yeah, cannot have. Cannot declare. So when you declare virtual, you have to declare the virtual, no, for this when you want to override that. Done. So please practice all this. So this all programs contains in our ID only. In our ID only they are contained, and you can access this program from administration, or you can access from file, open. You can see all the programs. Whatever we are discussing, all the programs. So before tomorrow class, read for exception handling. Search in Google what is exception handling, what is the use, what is then collections, what is a list, set all that you did it, then we, so that tomorrow you can discuss on that. List, set, maps, all that we need to set. Okay. Done. Thank you.